Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I think I'm doing the tomato plant based on the pencil mark. If you don't know what that is, you have to turn it to this side where you see the CEUKCA. And for the tomato one, there's just like a tiny pencil mark right there on the can. So let's see if this is accurate. All right, moment of truth. Yep, that was accurate. Oh my gosh, how cute. And this one you could actually pick the tomatoes off just like you could with the strawberries. I absolutely love that. Yeah, that's exciting. They also give you a cage to put around it. I think I might set the cage and the tomatoes like resin it to the bottom and then add the dirt and not resin the dirt, if that makes sense. I did resin the strawberries just because they were like not standing up nicely. So I did that. But we have our box and then we have a little flat to put the tomatoes in if you pick them. And the soil. The instructions. The shovel. This goes onto here to make a display case. Yeah, so let's clean up. Here's the instructions for that one. It shows you adding all the dirt and then just digging a hole and putting the tomatoes in with the cage. I honestly think that will be top heavy and will fall over. So I will resin mine, but that's what it'll look like at the end. I do have leftover clear resin from the fish I just did. Even if you think there isn't enough in there left saving, you should always save it because you only need a drop sometimes to do certain stuff like this. Now they did give us a nice base. It's square, and honestly, how detailed is that? That's so cute. It looks just like when you take a plant out of the little potting container. It's got all those roots. That's super cool. And it should be easy to resin down. Let's see here if that's gonna go in there nicely. May not be able to put it all the way down. Let's see if we can push it down just a little bit more. Yeah, I think so. Now that I'm thinking this through, we might just need to resin in the four corners here. Or maybe not at all. It does have like a nice base and it doesn't seem to be falling over. So let's just go ahead and put the potting soil in and pack it really well and see what we're working with. And then if we have issues, we can go back and try to fix it. But let me put this little tomato back on there. There's a tiny little hole in there where you can push it back in there. Some of them are loosey-goosey though. They're hard to get back on there, but you can see, hold on, if I can move my fat thumb, there we go. See that circle and you just line it up. I wish they would have made the stem part that goes in there a little bit more stiff. I think it would have been easier, but overall adorable. And it looks like they kind of made them different sizes, slightly bigger, slightly smaller. It's super cute. All right, let's go ahead and open this. I feel like we're gonna use every bit of this potting mix. This is all there is. I'm gonna put a chunk down. Oh my gosh. I don't feel like that's very much. I feel like we need twice that amount for this build. Wiggle it in there so it's all the way down. Yeah, that root's gonna show unless you really cram it down there. I don't know about this. I could definitely stretch it so it's down there. Maybe I will need to, even if I resin that down, I'm not sure that that'll look the best. Let's see. I don't think there's enough dirt. Even if we just loosely put it in there, that's what it looks like. You can see the root. Maybe I will stick it to the bottom. Pick up all the dirt. I could stick it like that. And then, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Otherwise, I'm not sure, guys. So let me grab some resin. Just gonna need a drop of this just so it doesn't fall over. Which is good because I think that's all that's in here is a drop. You can see some oozing out. I'm gonna add just a little more. That should be more than enough. And I push that down as far as it'll go. And I'm just gonna set that like that and hit it with the UV lamp. We have secured the base. I had to angle my light all crazy ways to get that to cure. I like the light I have. You could put on the side and it's easy to use. You just plug it in. It's got a timer on it. I love it. I'll link it below. It's always in the description, the stuff I use in my tweezers and stuff like that. But I'm gonna try to start putting the dirt in. That center part, maybe I should have resined some of this on top of that so that it's easier to get in there, but a little too late, so that's fine. We'll work with it. If you got this one and you have tips for people that might be watching this video, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I feel like this is a lot easier to do though now that I know that the tomato plant isn't going to go anywhere, that it's stuck. Kind of put it in the top, and I'm going to get my tweezers so I can pack that in there better. And now the only one I believe that I haven't done from this series is the carrots. And that one I'm not really too interested in, because I wouldn't want to resin it, and I feel like they're just gonna like lay on the side and be all chaotic looking. But maybe I'm wrong. If you got that one and you like it, please tell me otherwise. But I really enjoyed the tomatoes and the strawberries. And the herbs and the fish, of course. There's a lot of good ones from this set. This series, rather. That would have been cool if they did just like a entire gardening one. That would have been cool. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Pretty even, pretty confident. It's not gonna jump out if I flip it over. You wanna do the Dairy Queen test and see? I hate when they do that at Dairy Queen, by the way. Like, why are you flipping my ice cream? That's completely unnecessary. The only thing that fell out is that little pebble that's kind of mixed into the potting mixture. No biggie. Ooh, it just went flying. So yeah, you can pick them and put them in here if you wanted. They come off very easily. My daughter loves taking them all off, and then I go back through and put them all back on. It's a fun, never-ending game. Yeah, this is super cute. Let me put all these back on, and then we'll do an up-close view of what it looks like. There's one missing from the bottom that I feel like is going to be a pain to put back on, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But overall, this is what it looks like. It's bendable and flexible like a plant. Very cute. Lots of tomatoes on there. And you could pick them and re-put them on there. And if you don't want to do that, you could like super glue them or something if you wanted them to be more permanent. But they're pretty sturdy. I feel like they're better than the strawberries. The strawberries fell off pretty easily. I think they were heavier. These stay on better in my opinion. But overall, super cute. Make sure you're following me on Facebook for all the Miniverse news so you're up to date on the new release sets. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.